I never imagined that my marriage would end over a casual conversation. Sarah and I had been married for 3 years, and while things weren't perfect, I always believed we had a strong foundation. We had built a life together, sharing everything from bills to daily routines. But one evening, everything changed when I overheard her talking to her friends. Sarah had invited a few of her friends over for a small get-together. I wasn't feeling particularly social, so I stayed in the bedroom, watching TV while they chatted and laughed in the living room. At first, I wasn't paying attention, but then I heard my name. That's when I instinctively started listening, curious about what they were saying. One of her friends, Emma, brought up the fact that Sarah rarely talked about me. She asked why Sarah never shared stories about her husband, and that's when I heard the words that made my stomach drop. Sarah laughed and said, "Oh, him? He's not really my husband. He's more like my roommate who helps with the bills." The room erupted with laughter, but I felt like someone had just stabbed me in the chest. My heartbeat quickened, and I had to hold my breath to keep from reacting. She wasn't done, though. "I mean, sure, we're technically married, but it doesn't really feel like it. We don't do anything romantic anymore. Honestly, I feel more single than married. He's just there. It's convenient, you know?" Her words echoed in my mind, and I felt a mixture of anger, hurt, and disbelief. Was that how she really saw me? As nothing more than a financial convenience? As just some guy who lived with her and paid half the rent? It got worse when one of her friends joked, "Well, at least you've got a live-in ATM." I expected Sarah to defend me, to say something like, "No, it's not like that," but she just laughed along with them. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor, feeling completely humiliated. I had always believed we were partners, a team. I worked hard to make sure we had a comfortable life together. I never once thought of myself as just a source of financial support for her. If that's all I was to her, then what was the point of staying? I had 2 choices. I could walk into the living room and confront her, or I could let my actions speak louder than words. I decided on the latter. The next day, while she was at work, I packed my essentials. I didn't take much, just my clothes, my laptop, and a few personal belongings. I left most of the furniture and household items behind. I wasn't interested in fighting over stuff. Before I walked out, I took my name off the automatic payments for the rent and utilities. If she thought I was just a roommate, then she could pay for everything herself. That evening, when she got home, I was long gone. My phone started buzzing not long after. First, she sent a few texts. "Sarah. Where are you? Sarah. Why is the rent unpaid? Sarah. Did you seriously move out?" I ignored her at first. Then the calls started coming in, one after another. After about a dozen missed calls, I finally picked up. The moment I answered, she exploded. "Where the hell are you?" she demanded. "I moved out," I said simply. "Are you serious? Why?" "You said it yourself," I replied calmly. "I'm just a roommate, right? Roommates don't owe each other explanations." She was silent for a moment, then she started yelling. "You're being ridiculous. You know I can't afford this place alone." "That's not my problem," I told her. "Find another roommate." She tried to argue, saying she was just joking and that I was taking things too seriously. "You're acting like a child," she spat. "This is so immature." I wasn't interested in arguing. "If that's how you feel, then it shouldn't be a big deal that I left," I said before hanging up. A week later, she called again. This time, she wasn't angry, she was crying. She told me she couldn't afford the rent and was being forced to move back in with her parents. She begged me to come back, saying she didn't mean what she said, that she loved me, and that she missed me. But her words had already done too much damage. I told her I deserved someone who actually respected and valued me, not someone who reduced me to a paycheck. She tried to argue, but I wasn't interested in hearing it. I wished her luck and ended the call. Looking back, I don't regret my decision. Marriage is about love, respect, and partnership. If your spouse sees you as nothing more than a financial safety net, then what's the point of staying? I walked away, and I've never looked back.